Hello. There we go. I am starting a few minutes early just to get set up here. Actually, yeah, just gonna make sure that this works out good. Hi. So today, this afternoon, I'm really excited just to touch base with everybody about yoga, about getting started with a yoga practice, about finding inspiration to start, about getting back to your practice. Hi, Amber. About getting back to your practice if maybe you've had one in the past and have gotten off track with it, because it happens to everybody. But most specifically to people who want to get started but don't really know how. So yeah, I'm gonna give a couple more minutes because I said I was starting at 2 and anyone can join at any time, so we'll kind of just go into it. But anyway, for those of you who maybe don't know me, my name is Mandy Lawson and I live here in Costa Rica. I'm in my lovely yoga space here. I'll just give you a little tour. So that's the house over there. That's our lovely jungle van over there. The pool is just behind it. And then we've just got lots of jungle. We've got Ganesha, of course. Jungle space around us. So the yoga deck here is really a sanctuary here where there's a lot of animals. We can see monkeys and pisotes, which are kind of like a cross between a raccoon and anteater kind of looking, all sorts of things, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. So yeah, I wanted to talk about getting started with a yoga practice. Yoga today, at least from what I can see sort of from afar, talking about specifically kind of in North American culture, has this, people who are not in the yoga world, I've kind of done polls on Facebook before and asked people who are not into yoga sort of about, hey Denise, thank you, about how they see yoga and the type of people who do yoga. And a lot of times the hesitations that people have had, hello Farid, a lot of times the people that have had hesitations, it's been because they think that they're not good enough in some way to do yoga. Maybe they're not thin enough, or they're not flexible enough, or they are not like cool enough, or they, anything enough, and that causes them to hesitate to join a class or to, walking into a studio. It can be intimidating because we hold on to those beliefs, a lot of us, about what a yoga practice is or what people who do yoga are like. And, I'm sure there are many places that do kind of have that energy about them. And I've noticed, actually, I've been to many of them, especially like in bigger cities and stuff, where it is kind of like, I do feel intimidated to go in, even someone with a practice, and all of this like philosophy and everything that I've learned, it still can be intimidating. So I totally get it. And I've been there in my life, where I've been unhappy with where I was at physically and just with my whole life in general. So I understand what that feels like. And so I want to share with you that yoga can be absolutely life-changing, and it's so much more than just being able to do physical poses. Yoga is like, there are 8 parts, 8 limbs of yoga. I was doing 7. It's 8. And only one of them are postures. Only one of them are the physical movements of yoga, and that one's called asana. And so, there's a lot more to it. And not being, super flexible is not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. It's like saying you're too dirty to have a bath. And that just doesn't make sense, right? So coming to yoga in a body that's less flexible than you'd like it to be is completely fine. I myself have very limited flexibility in my back, and there's some poses I do where I feel like I'm just like straight as a board and I'm not getting any curve in the back in my spine, and that's okay. I've learned to accept that and know that that's all right, and everyone's body is different. So if you feel like you're hesitating from getting into it because of something like that, I welcome you to challenge your beliefs around that. And if you feel like you need some help to kind of talk out what your hesitations are, I'd be happy to talk with you and give you some suggestions of ways that you can get started. Maybe if you need to take baby steps towards going to a public class, then, you know, we could definitely work on that. And I received an email today that I really want to share with you from somebody that I haven't met, but I'm so happy he sent me this message. So I'm just going to read it to you because I find it very inspiring. So he says, "Hello, Mandy. Thank you for accepting my friend request. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to share my experience regarding yoga with you." He says, "I discovered yoga about 4 years ago when a local wellness clinic was having an open house, and I met the yoga instructor who was offering individual yoga lessons. I signed up for a package of individual lessons since I was too nervous to attend a group class." I think a lot of us can identify with that. He says, "I now practice yoga regularly, twice a week, at a studio that offers small group classes, and I always look forward to my next class. Most of the students are female, but there are usually 1 or 2 males, so I don't feel alone. The people in the studio are very welcoming. I find yoga people in general are very down to earth and welcoming. My wife says I've been more calm since I've been practicing yoga." Yeah. He says, "I just wanted to share this with you, so if you have any skeptics, you can convince them that yoga really is for everyone." So thank you so much for sharing that. Yoga really is for everyone. And I mentioned in my video earlier today that if you can breathe, you can do yoga. All right? So, and I'd love to help you figure out how. Okay? And so I have a few people, you know, students that I've had over the years, and then just people that I know from my past, or friends I have that ask for suggestions for certain things. And I have a question from one of those people today, so I'd like to share that with you. So she says, "I've been doing yoga stretches since September, and it's going well, very helpful for my health. My question is, how long before I should move into more yoga poses and gain some balance that I'm lacking?" So, good question. It's hard to know, right? It's hard to know when can I add more, or what should I be doing, especially if you're on your own, you're not working together with a teacher or in a class setting. So, yeah, I think definitely the stretches that you're doing, if they're helping you, you can definitely continue to do that, but I think you can probably add some more, and I'd be happy to help you with that. Yoga really is about breaking out of the patterns that we're in, about changing our habits, and just trying something different. So something as simple as this. Everybody, if you're watching, put your hands like this. Just put them together like this. And now close your fingers like you would normally do. Okay? Now, open them again. And do it the opposite way with the opposite thumb on top and see what that feels like. Try it right now. I'll wait for you. Okay? Give me a comment. Give me a thumbs up if that felt really weird. And if it felt normal, give me hearts. How about that? So often it feels kind of different. In the 200-hour training that we did, yeah, it feels weird, right? In the 200-hour training that we recently finished here, we talked about it feeling like, you know, awkwardly holding hands with a partner that you don't really know yet, or you just don't quite fit. And and that's kind of like we've been doing the same thing our whole lives. We've always been putting our hands in one direction. And when we sit down cross-legged, and I'll often have students in my class switch the front leg because we've probably been sitting with the same leg in front when we sit like crisscross applesauce style our whole lives, since kindergarten or before, right? So try it. Try, if you're sitting in that position, try putting the other foot in front. And so basically my point is that a big part of yoga is switching things up. So trying something different. So coming back to the question, we want to change things a little bit. So again, you can keep on doing the stretches that you're doing, but maybe we find a way to deepen them for you. And we want to add some other things. And I wasn't sure if you meant with the comment about balance that you said, and gain some balance that I'm lacking. Like, do you mean physical balance? I'll address both of those things. So if it's physical balance, there are many postures you can do that can help you gain some more balance, and they don't have to be difficult. So even something like standing beside a wall and holding onto the wall and coming up onto your tippy toes, and trying to come and just like lift the heel of one foot off of the other. So coming into like I'll just show you, see if I can set up to show you what I mean. So something like, but holding onto a wall, right? Something like this. So you're still supported, and just find your balance there, and then make sure you always do both sides. Definitely important to do both sides evenly. And begin to find balance. And within that, if you haven't been doing that, on the foot that's supporting you, it's going to take a while to build up the strength around your ankle and the arches of your foot. All of the little muscles in the foot it's going to feel different. So start practicing with that and building some strength there. Don't hold it for too long, maybe 10 seconds, and keep using the wall to balance, and then switch. And then as time goes on, maybe you can do the same thing but come away from the wall, but just be close enough to hold on in case you start to tip. And that can be really helpful for starting to increase your balance. And then I was kind of reading the question in another way too, and I'm not sure exactly how you meant it, but finding the balance that you're lacking. Balance, right? Balance is a big word. Balance is everything. So finding some more balance between all aspects of your life. So if we were to look at that question or look at it from that point of view, my dog's coming to say hi. Venga, Chicha. So finding balance within your, come here, within your whole life. So, you know, healthy eating, it doesn't have to be always one way, or getting into a practice. Did that hurt? I'm sorry. I just wanted you to say hi. We saw Chicha. We need a little bit of everything, and so finding balance. Yeah, I think just adding these things and finding a balance of new and old is going to be important for you. So keeping on with the things that you've been doing, and then also maybe adding some new stuff, and I'll help you with that. Okay. So does anyone else have any questions? You can feel free to comment them. I had a few other things to talk about as well, so I'll move on to that unless I see any other questions pop up here. When you're getting started with a yoga practice, it's important to know what your goals are. So if you're just looking, for the fitness side of it, so becoming more flexible, stronger, better endurance, yoga can definitely help you with that. And many people come to yoga from a fitness standpoint, more of the physical side of things. But if that's not really so much your concern, and you're looking more for just finding some more peace and some more happiness in your life, yoga can definitely help you with that as well. My suggestion to get started with that side is to start playing with meditation. And what I'd really like to do is start working with some of you guys on getting started with meditation. And I think, and that's a topic for another video, but I think a lot of people are afraid of meditation, and it can be a scary thing to get started with, because it's a widely held belief out there in the world that you need to like just sit down and completely clear your mind and basically levitate there for however long. But that's not it. It's not it. And it's difficult to achieve that. You know, really difficult to achieve levitation, especially. But meditation, basically, like, at the very least, you can sit for 5 minutes without looking at your phone. It's going to change your world, honestly. Just taking a few minutes for some peace and quiet, and just cutting off some of those distractions can really, really change things and help you find more peace. So Farid, I started yoga for the fitness benefit, but continued because of the peacefulness and calmness it has brought to my life. Yeah, and that happens with a lot of people, definitely. So I've heard a lot of people say, oh, gym yoga, you know, they don't even like practice meditation, or they don't do this and they don't do that, you know, kind of poo-pooing on gym yoga. But you know what? It's fantastic, because if people are brought to the practice through that, then awesome. That's great. People will walk away feeling a little different than after just like a step aerobics class or something like that. You know, they're just like, wow, that was like, I feel really good, but there's something more to it than just the exercise piece, the physical exercise. And so you start to recognize these benefits. And if you start to look into it, then you can really see that the breathing, the positive affirmations, the space, the time, the calmness that can come, and just turning your attention inward can really begin to change the way you think and the way you see the world and the way you believe yourself to be. It can really uncover that truth about yourself. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in one class. But this is how people get addicted to yoga. You might know somebody who is just like a total yoga addict, and they go to class every day and they're just like, yoga. You know, it has these great benefits. And so, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I definitely agree with you. I started off working in a gym and and doing yoga as a physical practice as well. And I did it for quite a while before I started to notice that there was more to it. And one of the biggest changing factors for me was I was at a yogathon in Vancouver, and I don't know how many people were there, like thousands, a lot of people, and we all ommed together. And that feeling, that vibration of all of these people together just like blew something wide open in my heart. It was amazing. And I just knew in that moment that I needed more yoga in my life, and that this was the piece that was missing, because I had been struggling. Like, I'll tell you guys about it sometime, but I was at a kind of a low place, and that was a really like a huge turning point for me. And so, Marisol, hello. It was a huge turning point for me. And so from there, I really started to get the spiritual side out of it. And spiritual side isn't necessarily, you know, religious or anything like that, because yoga is definitely separate from religion, but just tuning into myself and learning how to go inward and to find my truth and to stop listening to like the monkey mind so much. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that for today. I would like to come back and do this again. I hope you will join me. Please message me if there's anything you'd like to hear about, any questions you have. I'd be happy to address them privately or in a Facebook Live. And if you'd be interested in getting started with meditation, let me know as well. We can do a little group maybe and start right from scratch. And it, you know, 5-minute meditations, we can talk, we can chat and have a little group chat. But then I can come live and lead some meditations that you can always do after if you can't make it live. So anyway, be in touch. Let me know what you want. Let me know what you need. I'm here for you. I want to help you live a happier life. And yeah, have a great rest of the day. Ciao.